Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma, and today in this video I'll be talking about the month of August 2023 and how does this month unfold for all of us. What are the planetary transits and what does this month hold for all the rising signs. So as usual, I'll go through Aries till Pisces, and you'll find the timestamps below in the description section as well as in the comment box. Remember also that when you see the monthly forecast or when you see the monthly predictions, when you hear them out, keep your ascendant or your rising sign or your lagna in mind. So for some, you would find that the moon sign is also resonating with you, but the ascendant or the rising sign has a deeper impact on what we do, what kind of karma are we generating, and what kind of fruits are we reaping, right? So I've already made a video I think about 2-3 years back. I am going to be leaving a link in the description section as well as to what is your ascendant and what is your moon sign. And in case you aren't aware as to how to find your ascendant, a lot of people still keep asking me whether the predictions are based on sun sign or ascendant or moon sign. You can actually go online and go to a lot of sites. There are a lot of free resources available on this. You can download a lot of free apps also which tell you your rising sign, your moon sign, and the placement of your planets in your birth chart as well, right? So with this, I'll go ahead with the monthly transits. The transits which we see for this particular month are three major transits. We see Sun moving out of the sign of Cancer on the 17th of August and entering its own sign of Leo, right? So Sun moves to its own sign, and obviously it is a happy place for Sun to be in. Then we have Mars. Mars moves out of the sign of Leo where it has been transiting all this while, and on the 18th of August it moves into the sign of Virgo. So Mars is changing signs. Then we have Venus. Venus is currently transiting through Leo, and on the 7th of August it becomes retrograde and then finally enters the sign of Cancer also. So there's going to be a long haul for Venus also during this retrogression period. So there would be results, there would be major results which we'll see when Venus becomes retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Also with Mars coming into the sign of Virgo, this is again a very interesting transit because Mars is inimical to Mercury. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mars and Mercury are inimical planets towards each other. Now here, very interestingly though, when Mars moves into any of the earthy signs, whether it is Virgo, whether it is Taurus, or whether it is Capricorn, the 2, 6, 10 trine, whenever Mars is found in these trines, one of these signs in the trine, Mars is able to deliver very well. It is able to channelize its energies very well towards whatever it wants to give you, or towards wherever it wants to put the action, right? So this is a very go-getter energy of Mars, and whenever it comes into an earthy sign, one is able to focus very well. So if Mars is well placed in your birth chart also, and Mars is in an earthy sign in the transits also, you're able to see a lot of positive results. Positive results in terms of your wealth, your accumulation of wealth, the resources which you have, your competitive spirits, the ability to combat any adversity in life. So all these things are seen whenever Mars comes into any of the earthy signs. And now with Mars entering the sign of Virgo, there would be a lot of focus on combating things which are against you, right? So say you have somebody competing against you, you'll be able to compete better, you'll be able to come out as a winner if other things are also positive for you. If you're combating some disease, if you're fighting some disease, then also Mars energy is able to stay focused. It helps you stay focused on the right path to combat that disease. So it is that fighting ability which Mars gives you. and of course it depends a lot on us, on our own free will, as to how we use this energy. Some may sway it away and some may use it very positively. So it totally depends on which side of the fence are you, right? So these were the 3 transits, and now I'll start with all the signs. I'll begin with Aries first. Now for Aries, your Lagnesh, that is your ascendant ruler, Mars, is moving out of the 5th house on the 18th of August and coming into the 6th house. So the first half is obviously comparatively good because Mars placed in a trine, and along with the energy of Jupiter and Rahu in the Lagna. So the entire trine, whenever it is strengthened, a lot of strength comes to the native. A lot of, a sense of being empowered is always there with the native, is always there with the individual. So here when Mars gradually moves out and comes into the sign of Virgo, this will also be a good time for you to take care of your health. So in case you were encountering any health issues frequently, I think this will be a time where you'll be able to fight off that problem. So you're resolved to fight off any problem, you're resolved to stay on a particular diet, or the ability to withstand any pain, any pressure becomes stronger when Mars is here. Some of you who might be in some legal problems, legal conflicts, etc., this will again be a good chance for you to tide over any opposition. If you're writing any particular competitive exams, if you're awaiting results for it, then also this is a positive indication that things are going to turn in your favor. Of course, a lot depends on the promise of your chart, on the kind of dasha which you're running, but overall, if other things are good, then this transit will bring in good results for you as well. This is, though, not a very positive time for married couples, because the 7th Lord Venus anyway signifies our relationships, our marriage, our spouse. In case you are a male native, then in that case it signifies your wife. Venus is becoming retrograde, and Venus is going back into the sign of Cancer gradually in retrogression. So here there could be some hidden emotional disturbances or some issues which were long forgotten, which now get dug out because of some small triggers, and then you face some on and off days in your marriage, some emotional disturbances, things which disturb your spouse, etc. So you've got to handle your partner very carefully and handle with a lot of care, So relationships have to be given a lot of attention this very month. Then those of you who are looking at education opportunities abroad, or you're looking at some chance to, or you're awaiting your documents to come through, some kind of approval to come through, I think this will again be a positive month for people who are looking at chances of moving out, opportunities to move out to study, etc. Right? So a lot of foreign linkages, foreign lands, all these connections can definitely be seen. In case you have children and they are grown-up children, you need to handle them with a lot of care. Make sure that you're not very aggressive while handling children, because this entire Mars and Sun energy in the 5th house can actually make you a little more aggressive and make you stricter than necessary. So take care of your kids' emotions, handle them well, and avoid any kind of aggression, because later on it might kick back in some other way, right? So overall this seems to be a mixed month. Health issues definitely need to be seen. Marriage needs to be handled with care. Work wise, this month seems to be good. Those of you who are looking at a change may also get an opportunity, so keep applying for any kind of a change, or new positions which you see in the market, because there could be opportunities where you land up what you actually desire. Then I move on to the next sign of Taurus. Now for Taurus, your ascendant ruler, that is Venus, is in the fourth house currently, and it is going to be retrograde by the 7th of August. It will move back into the sign of Cancer also. So Venus in retrograde motion, in retrogression, in the sign of Cancer, towards the sign of Cancer, will also produce a lot of disturbing energies for some. Yeah, so whenever the ascendant ruler, whenever the Lagnesh is under retrogression, there is a lot of threat to your overall health and well-being. So make sure that your overall health is taken care of. You're eating well, you're maintaining a disciplined routine, you're exercising well, you are breathing properly. So some amount of pranayama, breathing exercises obviously help. So keep your immunity up, eat clean, and maintain a good routine, because whenever the Lagnesh goes retrograde, there are high chances of catching infections, seasonal infections, etc. as well. Right now we have Sun, and Sun is going to be moving into your fourth house in its own sign, which is again going to be a good position of strength for itself. Then Mars will also be moving out of the sign of Leo, that is the fourth house, and moving into the fifth house. So here I would say there'll be a lot of zeal, there'll be a lot of motivation which you'll see when you'll approach your work, right? So any new projects, any new responsibilities which you pick up, there'll be a lot of enthusiasm and motivation towards it, right? So work wise, this is going to be an extra busy month. A lot of load can come onto you. A lot of interesting projects can come your way if you are working on your own, if you are an entrepreneur, or you are, you take up projects, etc. So here there's a lot of opportunity to gain more work, more projects your way, and things could turn up in your favor, right? Sun and Saturn both are going to be aspecting each other also. So here, though it may sound difficult, because Sun and Saturn are enemies. Sun is going to be in the fourth house and Saturn is in the 10th house, but work wise this seems to be a good position to be. Though a piece of advice is, do avoid confrontation if you're employed, if you're working in an organization, if you're working for somebody else. Do avoid confrontations with your bosses, with your higher ups, right? So there might be chances of such things coming up in the second half of the month. So use your tact, use your communication ability to tide through a lot of underlying issues. Avoid confrontation is what I would advise you, right? Overall, when it comes to your marriage, etc. as well, I think communication is again very important. Do not get aggressive with your partner, with your life partner. Aggression can trigger in a lot of negativity at home also, because as I see, Mars is also going to be moving into the mercurial sign of Virgo in the second half of the month. So there is going to be a lot of dormant energy, heated up energy in your home, in the domestic environment, which can disturb your peace of mind. So while at work things are going to be good, at home you need to keep your temper in check and make sure that you're maintaining domestic harmony, right? As regards health, I think this is also a time, if in case you are undergoing any hormonal issues, there are any endocrinal problems which you are undergoing, then take care of it. Make sure that you're visiting your doctor, you're undergoing your medical checks, right? Especially in the second half of the month. By that time, if you're due for a checkup, do not miss it. Take it up definitely. Then I move on to the next sign of Gemini. So when we see Gemini, the Lagnesh, that is Mercury, the ascendant ruler, is steadily moving in the sign of Leo in the third house. And Sun is going to be coming together, joining Mercury in the third house. Mars is going to be moving out. So there's a lot of emphasis on your third house. Sun and Mercury together also form the Buddha Aditya Yoga, but here it is the third house, right? So third house is a malefic house. We cannot say that it is a proper Buddha Aditya Yoga which is going to be fully fructifying for you. But yeah, we can definitely say that whenever the Sun and Mercury conjunction happens, especially for you, there is a lot of positivity which comes in for the Gemini ascendant, right? So you take up good work, your confidence level increases this month, you're able to take more initiative, you're able to use your communication very effectively. So in case you are in the field of media, writing, journalism, travel, etc., television, or all these entertainment, etc., then this month could make you do very well. There could be new opportunities which come up, etc. There could be, if you're waiting for any approval from any authorities, any government authorities, etc., as well, then this could be a month where you see positive traction. So things move positively for you. Here we also see Saturn in your 9th house, right? So there is going to be a Sun and Saturn 1-7 aspect. They aspect each other, Sun being in the 3rd and Saturn being in the 9th house. So here do keep extra care when you're traveling, right? So when you're traveling or when you're making these short journeys, take extra care. Do not rash drive, and do not get into any conflicts while you're on a journey, right? So while you're traveling, do not get into any conflicts with people around you whom you're just meeting while in transit, is what I'm saying, right? So that is something which you need to take care of. Food intake has to be good. Venus is becoming retrograde. Venus is the 5th lord as well as the 12th lord, right? So Venus is becoming retrograde. Time to take care of your food intake, time to take care of what you put in your stomach, right? So your digestion can cause some problems. Make sure, especially with the kind of season going on, that you're eating well, you're eating very clean, right? Also, there could be some disturbances in your home, the home atmosphere. While everything is going hunky-dory at work, you may seize up good opportunities at work. There is a chance that things at home go a little sour because you're not able to maintain work-life balance properly, right? So take care of your home environment. Do not get into disagreements with your mother. There's a high chance for that there are conflicts with your mother. Also, if any of you have any property problems going on, property disputes, I think this is a time where you need to be extra careful. Be extra careful with your documentation, or in case you're in a legal conflict, then do keep a check, take stock of whatever is happening for you, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Cancer. So for Cancer, this month we see Venus gradually entering back, retrograde in motion. We have a lot of energy in the 2nd house, that is the sign of Leo for you, where Sun is going to be entering. Sun exits the 1st house and moves into the 2nd house of wealth, of family, of finances, your speech, your early education, right? And it gets conjunct with Mercury. While Sun and Mercury are together in the 2nd house, Mars also makes an exit into the 3rd house. Now this is something which I term as a very good position to be in, because whenever Mars moves into any of the Upchaya Bhavas, that is the 3rd, the 6th, the 10th or 11th houses. So in your case, Mars is moving into the 3rd house. 3rd house is a Upchaya Bhava or a growth house. Whenever Mars does that, there is a lot of zeal or motivation to do new things. So a lot of you may be taking up new projects, taking up something new, and a lot of it will be related to writing or communication, or it could be simply pursuing a new hobby also, like taking up something, taking up painting, taking up writing, taking up something which you do with your hands, like pottery, sculpting, etc., drawing, gardening. So anything which you do with your hands, where you connect with nature, these kind of things, a lot of you, it will apply to a lot of you, where you'll take up some active interest, or maybe revive an old hobby, revive an old interest, or enroll for some kind of classes, etc. So new initiatives will definitely be taken by a lot of you. There'll also be a lot of focus on wealth issues, right? So we have this energy in the second house in the sign of Leo, which I was talking about, and then we also have a retrograde Saturn sitting in the eighth house, aspecting the second house as well, right? So a lot of money matters, finance matters. How do we invest? How much do we invest? Do we invest jointly? Do we invest separately? There'll be a lot of money questions coming up if you're in that age and stage, right? So a lot of money questions, money decisions are there, which you should resolve sitting in the family, with the family, right? So make sure that you're sharing the required information within the family, especially with people who are younger to you, right? So take a collective decision, right? So make sure that the entire family is in tandem with whatever you are deciding, right? If you are in a head position, if you're the head of the family. Otherwise also do take advice from your family members, from your parents, from your elders, if you're making any big ticket investments, right? So wealth is going to be a major issue. For some of you it may also be inherited wealth, right? So the stakes could be big and the decisions could also be very big. Also, as I mentioned, since Mars is coming into the third house, Mars is also a Yoga-karak planet for the Cancer ascendant. So Mars being the Yoga-karaka coming into the third house is also a good opportunity to take up, to make new decisions, but avoid any hastiness. That's why I'm saying that you need to take proper advice from elders, or professional advice at least, right? So hasty decisions need to be avoided. Any hasty plans of travel should also be avoided, because many a times it happens that we suddenly like making plans, and we tend to miss out on a lot of other minute details which doesn't help us, which lands us in some kind of discomfort later. So any hastiness with regard to travel plans, etc., should also be avoided. If you have any ongoing conflict with your siblings, you need to be careful, right? So there could be matters which surface up again and cause a lot of discomfort within the family, right? So matters or disputes with your siblings also need to be handled with care, and you need to be cautious on that front as well. A lot of you would also be connected to foreigners or foreign lands with respect to your work. So you might be working with the MNC, you might be getting an opportunity to travel abroad, or meet new people, or make new connections from people other than your motherland, right? So foreign connections are definitely on the cards for a lot of you. Gain in foreign currency could also be seen for a lot of you. So whatever applies for you, it works. There's also and this is also a time to be cautious with regard to financial matters within your marriage, right? So if you have any impending issues, money decisions where your spouse needs to be involved, do battle it out, do work out the entire decision with your spouse, with your spouse's concurrence. Then I move on to the next sign of Leo. So for Leo, this month we see the ascendant ruler, that is Sun, coming out of the 12th house and entering the ascendant on the 17th of August, and Sun is going to be here for a month's time. This is an excellent opportunity. Whenever the ascendant ruler comes back to the ascendant, it is like it has come back to recharge itself, right? There's always a fresh boost of energy, or a fresh way of energy which comes to the native whenever the ascendant ruler, the planet which is ruling the ascendant, in your case Sun, is coming back to the ascendant itself, which happens once a year for you, right? So good opportunity to work on yourself, work on your health, work on how you look. Remember, Sun shines where it sits. So how are you looking? How do you dress up? How are you conducting yourself? how are you polishing yourself, all that matters a lot for the Leo people anyways. And here Sun is coming back to the ascendant, so you might go in for a makeover. It's an excellent opportunity for that. You might go in for a different wardrobe, or a makeover of some kind is definitely on the cards. Along with Sun, Mercury is also going to be there in the ascendant all the while, all this month. So here this is an excellent opportunity for you in terms of gain of wealth, or forging new connections, meeting new people, networking with new people, using your communication very effectively to impress people as well. So an excellent opportunity, a good time. Though a word of caution is that Saturn, which is the seventh lord, is also sitting in its own house retrograde. That means it's a little powerful as well, and it is aspecting the Lagna. So some kind of challenge can definitely come from partnerships, or from your life partner, your spouse. So some kind of conflict, some kind of challenges there in that area could definitely be seen. So handle things with care, handle your relationship with care. Do not let your ego get the better of you, right? So whenever Sun comes in the ascendant, a lot of problems which come in relationships are usually because of ego, because Sun gives you a lot of ego and a lot of heat, because of which your partner also kind of drifts away for a while, right? So work on your marriage, your relationship, and things should get better. You have to be a little more mindful. If you are suffering through any bone related problems or digestion related problems, then you also need to be careful. Your expenses could go up, and this could put you in discomfort, right? Money wise, finance wise, as I said, this is a good month. Sun and Mercury are conjunct, and a lot of your materialistic desires get fulfilled, right? So if you were looking at shopping for something you wanted, if you are looking at some kind of gains which are going to come your way, then this is going to be a good time. For those of you who are looking at admissions outside the country, moving away from home, or you're awaiting some news from some universities, colleges, etc., then this is going to be a good time. This is an excellent opportunity for those people who are waiting till now to travel out. So traveling out on account of education is definitely indicated for quite a few Leo people. There is also a good chance of people taking up pilgrimages also, right? So some kind of visit to a religious place, visit to a faraway place of religious interest is also indicated for quite a few. Now I move on to the Virgo ascendant. So if you have a Virgo ascendant or a Virgo rising sign, this month I would say a little challenging for you, because we see an inimical planet, that is Mars, coming to the Lagna. The 6th, 8th and the 12th houses, that is all the Trik Bhavas, those Thanas are populated with planets. There are no planets in the center except for Mars, which is coming to the Lagna as I mentioned, and there are no planets in the trine, in the 5th and 9th house also, right? So this is going to be a little challenging month, especially in terms of your health. So that is something which you definitely need to take care of. This is a changing season. Monsoons are anyways not very great for health. So seasonal changes for some and chronic problems for some. So if you have any chronic health issue, it may return, and you might be spending a lot of your time, money and energy on it. So make sure that you're taking care of your health. Medical expenses or expenses of any kind are anyways I see them rising this month. So make sure that you do your hospital visits, your doctor visits, your checkups, your blood work, etc., tests and all done on time, right? So chronic issues have to be taken care of very well. Then there could also be matters related to insurance or related to inheritance which might come up, right? So something which was long forgotten, something which requires your attention may come up this month. So this is going to be a little difficult month in terms of a lot of issues which are not very easy to deal with, right? So it could be a complicated legal problem, it could be a complicated case of shared inheritance, etc. All those things. These kind of things are going to come up for the Virgo ascendant. And especially if you're not running through a very good dasha, then all these things, the chances definitely increases for all these things, right? Though if you are competing for some uh, educational opportunity to study abroad, to move out, to move across to any foreign land for education, etc. If you're looking out to make any foreign deal, moving out of the country to make any new business deal, if you have your own venture, etc., any connections which you're making with foreign lands, this could be a good time, right? So a lot of travel is indicated, a lot of opportunity to meet new people away from your culture, right? So all these things are definitely indicated, but yeah, health definitely has to be taken care of, right? So there is going to be a lot of travel, there's going to be a lot of movement, there's going to be lack of sleep for a lot of you. Otherwise, even if you're not traveling, I think this is a good time to expend your physical energy, because I see a lot of worry and sleeplessness also creeping in for the Virgo ascendant. So there could be small matters which come to worry you, which come to disturb your routine. So your routine has to be taken care of. Your food intake, your daily routine could get disturbed, right? Otherwise, wealth wise, for some investments may fructify. There could be some gains from your circle of friends, some new connection, or some new network could help you out in your business deals, etc. So overall, this is a month to take care of your health, take care of your well-being first, and then focus on the other matters, right? All these planets in the Trik Bhavas aren't helping much. So gradually, as the month progresses, you got to be more careful regarding your health and expenditure, etc. The first half of the month is still a little better. Now moving on to the next ascendant of Libra. So if you have a Libra ascendant or Libra rising, then in your case, the ascendant ruler, that is Venus, is turning retrograde, and it moves back from the 11th house to the 10th house. A lot of focus comes back to work. A lot of focus comes back to your fame, to your name, to your status and reputation, right? So if you were waiting for some recognition, waiting for some things to fructify at work, I think this is the time. Venus is retrograde, it's coming back to do things which were forgotten. Also, this is aided by Sun moving out of the 10th house into the 11th house, where it meets up with Mercury. So Sun, being your 11th lord, the planet responsible for fulfilling your wishes, is conjoining with your Bhagyesh, with your lord of luck, that is Mercury. So here the Sun Mercury conjunction really helps out in fulfilling any long-standing wishes which you had. So if you were unsettled in work, at your workplace till now, a lot of things could settle down, you'd get the required recognition or the name and fame which was due to you. So this is a month of wish fulfillment, of a lot of focus at work. This is also a time where those of you who are doing their business, who are in partnerships, etc., can forge new connections, new deals with foreign lands. So there could be some kind of a new deal or new party which you come in contact with, and it helps you out. Now this could be someone away from your culture, or away from your motherland, away from your country as well, right? Apart from this, a lot of you who are studying, who are into higher studies, etc., could make a lot of academic progress. Saturn is retrograde in the 5th house of higher education. So and then it is aided by a lot of planets in the 11th house as well. So a lot of progress in terms of education, in terms of studies is what I see. Though Jupiter and Rahu together are conjunct in the 7th house, they also aspect the Lagna. So here there could be chances of misunderstandings in your married life with your spouse, etc., which is something which you need to take care of. Overall, this seems to be a good month. Financially also, this seems to be a good month, though in the second half of the month there could be a rise in expenditure as well, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Scorpio. So if you are a Scorpio rising or a Scorpio ascendant, then Mars, which is your Lagnesh, is changing signs. It is moving out of your 10th house into your 11th house. Again, a good position. Mars is again in Upche Bhav and in the 11th house. So any planet in the 11th house anyways does well, and in your case it is the ascendant ruler itself. Then we have Saturn retrograde in the 4th house. We have Jupiter and Rahu together in the 6th house, and we have Sun moving into its own sign from the 9th house to the 10th house, and it is joined by Mercury over there. Venus also becomes retrograde. So a lot of movement is actually happening in the brighter half or the visible half of your birth chart. A lot of focus on things which are outside, things which are visible, right? A lot of focus on your work, a lot of focus on your career, on your business, getting new opportunities, networking with new people, focusing on your materialistic desires. There could also be some kind of gain from sale or purchase of land. So some land deals or property deals are also on the cards. So a lot of materialistic things, a lot of traction is seen over there. There could also be travel plans which you make along with your spouse. So some kind of a vacation, some kind of a trip is also on the cards for many of you. Apart from that, this, as I said, since there's a lot of focus on work, there'll also be a lot of focus on your relationship with your boss, right? So your bosses, your higher ups notice you. Make sure that your work is in order. Make sure that whatever you're doing is in order, because a lot of focus is going to be on that, right? So there'll be a lot of active activity, a lot of interaction between you and your higher ups. So keep the work going in well, and make sure that you're communicating about your monthly progress to your bosses properly, right? So apart from that, some kind of digestion issues is what I see. There could be problems related to food intake, or seasonal issues, seasonal disorders which are happening during this season of monsoon. So apart from that, this seems to be a good month for the Scorpio ascendant. Then I move on to the next sign, that is Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius rising or Sagittarius ascendant, if you are one, then we have the ascendant lord, that is Jupiter, conjunct with Rahu in the 5th house. We also have Sun moving out of the 8th house into the 9th house. Sun is a very important planet for you, being the 9th lord, that is the Bhagesh, or the lord of luck and fortune for you. It is coming out of the 8th house finally into the 9th house. So again, a very good indication for you. It is also joined with Mercury over there. Mercury is the 7th and 10th lord for you. So it rules over your marriage, it rules over your work, it rules over your karma sthan. So a lot of a lot of positivity is coming together. Sun is a trinal lord and Mercury is a Kendra lord, and they're coming together in a trine house in the 9th house. So here in the second half of the month, there's going to be a lot of positivity, a lot of good chances come to you in terms of work, in terms of getting recognized, in terms of getting good guidance from mentors, from teachers. So overall, not only materialistically, this is going to be a satisfying time for the Sagittarius ascendant in terms of work, in terms of quality of life which they're living, right? So a very positive month for you. Though apart from this, we also see the planet Mars moving out of the 9th house into the 10th house. Mars gets Digbal or directional strength in the 10th house, and it is a Upche Bhav as well. But Mars also makes you very impulsive. So whatever you do, avoid impulse. Make sure that you're steadily doing whatever you're doing rather than in spikes, So Mars energy over here challenges you to be consistent at work and a lot of times you'll feel like doing things on impulse which have to be avoided. There could also be confrontation with people, with your bosses, with your higher ups, with people in the position of authority, on impulse, which could land into very unpleasant situations. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. Otherwise, this month seems to be good. Your general vitality also seems to be improving as the month goes by, especially by the second half of the month. Good opportunities could come. A lot of you could also take up some visits to holy places, right? So these kind of visits or trips are also something which I see. For those of you who are unmarried, who are looking for an alliance, looking for matchmaking, you could also come across somebody interesting or a potential match in this month, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn, you see if you are a Capricorn rising or a Capricorn ascendant, your Lagnesh is Saturn, and it is right now well placed in the second house, in its Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius. And Saturn is retrograde also right now. Being the Lagnesh and being retrograde, though Saturn here may produce good results in terms of money, in terms of finances, etc., but health always remains a challenge, right? When Saturn becomes retrograde, because Saturn is also the planet of disease, Saturn is also the planet of discomfort sometimes on a materialistic plane. And when it becomes retrograde, it also can give you some unfavorable results. So health wise, take care of it. Take care of your dental health, take care of the food you eat, because many a times there could be chances that you are eating a lot of junk food or a lot of cold food which does not suit you and gives you health issues. So make sure that you're eating in tandem with your body type, in tandem with your constitution, bodily constitution, right? Apart from this, we have Jupiter and Rahu in the 4th house. We have Venus is going to be retrograde and hitting the 7th house, coming back into the sign of Cancer. Then we have Sun and Mercury together in the second half in the 8th house as well. Sun will be moving out of the Kendra Bhav and moving into the 8th house by the second half, by the 17th of August. Mars will move out of the 8th house into the 9th house as well, right? So here a lot of movement is there in the 6th, 7th and 8th houses for you. In the 7th, 8th and 9th houses for you, pardon me, right? And there is going to be a lot of activity around finance, around resources, financial resources, joint family money, inheritance, shared inheritance, right? So there is going to be a lot of activity around that. Some decisions might have to be taken regarding joint money, family money, etc. So all these important things may start coming up now, and for the next 2 to 3 months you could be busy in these things as well, right? So but Venus, which is your Yogacarak planet for the Capricorn ascendant, is going to come back to the center, come back into the 7th house and aspect the Lagna as well. So a lot of support also comes to you. This support could be your spouse supporting you, or female members of the family supporting you, right? There could also be support from your children. So make sure that you're getting supported by the right people while you're taking important decisions regarding your family. You're taking everybody together. So a lot of resource management, a lot of financial decisions are definitely there. Keep a tight check on your personal belongings. So if you are keeping your expensive pieces of jewelry in the house, or something very expensive, which you keep around you, make sure that you're handling your personal belongings, expensive items with care and caution, right? And that is again something which I definitely see for a lot of you. Apart from that, those of you who are looking at getting admissions, or you're looking at higher education, moving out to higher institutions, etc., you'll have to put in extra work. You'll have to put in a lot of work to get through, right? So make sure that you're taking your tests on time. Make sure that you're choosing the right time to appear for tests, because these days a lot of tests, a lot of things are online. You can choose a slot, right? So make sure that you're choosing the right auspicious muhurat also to take up these tests. And apart from that, you are working hard enough for it. So I'm talking about those people who are looking at higher education, who are looking at moving out for some specialization, etc. as well. Apart from that, avoid any rash driving, avoid any journeys which are not necessary, right? A lot of planets in the 8th house always put a question mark on the fruitfulness of any journey. So whatever journey you're undertaking, make sure that it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary for you to undertake. Otherwise, you may make a trip, make all the time, and the time and money goes, but you may not get the desired results. So journeys have to be planned well in advance and with a proper agenda in mind. Then I move on to the next ascendant, that is Aquarius. So for Aquarius, you see the ascendant lord Saturn is retrograde and it is sitting in the Lagna itself, which gives you a lot of strength, which gives you a lot of impetus to your overall growth as well. Because as I said, whenever the ascendant ruler comes to the Lagna, it's always time to recharge the Lagna, right? Apart from that, we have Jupiter and Rahu in the 3rd house. We have Sun and Mercury, which are going to be conjunct when Sun moves out of the 6th house to the 7th house. Sun and Mercury conjunction will happen in the 7th and aspect the Lagna. Venus is becoming retrograde. Mars is moving into your 8th house also. So a lot of activity in the 6th, 7th and 8th houses. This could, resolve a lot of your health issues. A lot of focus on health issues. A lot of resolution of health issues may also come, right? So take care of the lower region of your body, lower stomach, abdomen, etc. Any health issues pertaining to that region, whether it is a intestinal issue, digestion issue, etc., or anything like that, has to be handled with care, right? Things can get sorted out. You could meet the right doctor, the right treatment could also come through. So but you need to take the right step at the right time. So get your medical checks, get your hospital visits on time. Definitely this month could also be very high on people dealings. So those of you who are running their businesses or who are entrepreneurs, etc., you might meet a lot of new people. Make sure that you're networking well, because a lot of new deals, a lot of new interaction is definitely on the cards. So it will all happen when you're using your public relations, when you're using your people dealings properly, right? Some of you may find opposition in their business, so a lot of competition may increase also, but you're going to be going through a lot of competitive time. So make sure that you're prepared and you are keeping up with the times, right? You are following the required government regulations. You are in line, you're towing the government regulations to stay up in business. That is going to be a challenge for many of you who are running their own businesses, right? So make sure that you are in tandem or in sync with the government rules and regulations, etc. Apart from that, make sure that your communication with your neighbors or with your younger siblings, etc., is proper, and you are able to communicate whatever you want in the right sense. It is interpreted in the right sense, right? So communication can sometimes cause some problem. That is something which I would warn you against. Those of you who are looking at a break or a change in your role, etc., may do so, or may find a change in their role. So wherever you're employed, if you're looking at a change, if you're looking at a break, such kind of an opportunities may present themselves, right? So new opportunities or change of role, or which puts you under discomfort for some time in the beginning. Some uncomfortable change can definitely come through, right? So changes at work, new settling down, new things, new surroundings, etc., is definitely what I see. So some kind of hurdles at work could be seen. Disagreements at work can definitely be avoided. That is a word of caution for you. Do not be impulsive and do not be short-tempered at work with your subordinates as well as with your colleagues or anybody at work for that matter. This may backfire at you. Then I move on to the next sign of Pisces. So if you have a Pisces ascendant or a Pisces rising, we have your Lagnesh, that is Jupiter conjunct with Rahu in the second house. We have Saturn retrograde on the other side of the house, that is the 12th house. We have Sun moving out of the 5th house into the 6th, and Sun and Mercury over there will form a conjunction for after the 17th of August. Then we have Mars moving out of the 6th house into the 7th house. So there is a lot of activity happening in the 5th, 6th and 7th houses. The sign of Leo is also very activated with the presence of Sun. Sun will enter its own sign, Leo, that is your 6th house. So here a lot of conflict or conflict resolution alongside is definitely on the cards. So if you are in a illegal conflict with somebody, if you are in conflict at work with somebody, then this is a time to be careful, right? If you are writing some competitive exams, or if you are eyeing some position where there's a lot of competition around you, then this is a time to put in that extra work, put in those extra hours to beat the competition, right? So that competitive spirit has to be there, and you need to put in that extra to get to your goals, right? Venus also becomes retrograde. So Venus is also slowly moving back to your 5th house. So here, your relationships also need to be managed well. Relationship with your partner, relationship with your in-laws, etc., have to be managed well. So there are chances of conflict over there as well. So make sure that you're communicating properly, and sometimes ignoring small issues as well, right? Mars, when it enters the 7th house, actually can make you impulsive in terms of relationships, right? So Mars is not a very not a very positive planet for you, though it's your bhagyesh. It helps you out in terms of opportunities in life, but sometimes it can create some hurdles in your married life as well. So here, avoid impulse, avoid bitter words in your conversations, and try to ignore small issues which can be ignored, right? A lot of you will deal with money issues also in the business. So if you're doing your business, etc., a lot of money issues will come, a lot of money issues within your business, within the partnerships, etc., which you have. A lot of money talk is going to take place. So here, this is an active month for you. Financially, you'll have to be on your toes, deal with money matters, deal with some conflicts also in business. Competition wise, any kind of a competition which you are dealing with, you have to be on your toes. So this is a month to be very active, to be very agile mentally, and your response time has to be good. So make sure that you are absorbing the information around you properly, and you're able to react at the right time. Because while you're thinking and overthinking, you may miss out on a lot of opportunities in terms of work, or in terms of grabbing new business, etc. as well. Those of you who are looking at educational opportunities, or moving towards higher education, etc., this could be a good time, right? New travel plans could come up, you could meet new people, new exposure is on the cards as well. So that was all about all the 12 signs, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Till then, take care. God bless.